Here's another letter from C. Davis. Dear Scarlet Derby, congratulations to Midnight J on you on the adoption of your son Ian. So, how's fatherhood treating you nowadays? Well, of course, Davis, it would be loathsome of me to say anything terribly negative about my newly adopted son. I instead have to admit that I just feel rather awkward about suddenly being a new dad. At first, I didn't think it would be any sort of transition because Midnight J and I knew Ian for roughly 2 years before we decided to adopt him. And it was just after a prolonged stay in a bizarre alternate dimension concocted by one of our most sinister enemies to date that my wife made the impromptu decision to bring him in as our ward. She says she needed to do it to close the time loop. I still have no idea what she means by that. So, right off the gate, Ian is extremely close to his mother, and that doesn't bother me, except I'd like to take him aside and be a mentor to him, in the same way that my Uncle Ludwig was to me. The problem with that is, he's matured before his time. All that time spent as an orphan with a paper route has done that to him. I run into his room every once in a while with a request like, "Hey, Ian, let's play a little stickball," or "Hey, Ian, let me show you how to restain this cabinet and flip it in pawn for a profit." And he just gives me this mile-long stare and says, "Sorry, Pop, I have to get on to work." I've done the math, and I've learned that the difference between his commission on all those newspapers and the tenure that I have at the community college is only about $250. So at least I don't have to worry about him financially. The kid's gonna put himself through college. There have been some times when I think we've really connected. There was this one time I set out to fix his little red wagon. There's a new trend about the kids these days where they put carved wooden horses' heads on the end of their wagons. And since I know that he likes ducks, I put this big wooden ducky head on the end of his wagon. When I showed it to him, he laughed and laughed, and I wandered out of his room halfway because I felt a little embarrassed. But then I was happy to see that he was taking that wagon along on his paper route. He even put one of my old derbies on it. And that's really the best thing about being a dad, when they show you how much that they care. Thank you very much for your letter, and ta-ta until next time.